Well, hello everyone. Today has been a day for the books. I went to the office this morning and my coworker Lisa came in and said, there's a worm on your floor. Well, actually, she said, "What is that?" and pointed. And I was like, that's a worm. That's an earthworm. Why is it in my office crawling around the carpet? I don't know. And then she said, "Oh no, there's another one under your chair." Well, I was still sitting in my chair at this point. I had already rolled over it. Can I just tell y'all, this is gross. Can I just tell y'all that earthworms contain a lot more blood than you think they do. It was a tiny little massacre or a tiny little homicide or a tiny little something tragic on my mat that my chair sits on. So I clean up the worms, move on about my day, or try to, right? So when I had gone to Sprouts the other day, I picked up this little package, and inside this little package it had a gluten-free brownie. And I was like, ooh, this will be good, to take to work next week. So I noticed that I keep scratching my nose. I'm leading up to that. So I am eating the brownie. I open it, and I take a pinch, and I take a bite, and I take a pinch, and take a bite. And then my nose starts itching. It's like driving me crazy itching. Well, I didn't have any Benadryl or Claritin or anything like that in my purse. So unbeknownst to me, I didn't know the brownie had milk in it. I just keep eating the brownie trying to figure out what's going on. What am I allergic to? But we had been in the warehouse, so keep that in mind, that we had been moving some boxes around in the warehouse. So I assumed it was dust, right? So I keep getting itchy, my nose is just raw at this point because I've rubbed it so much. And then she went and got us lunch, and we ate lunch. And then I finished my brownie. And then as I was throwing it away, something caught my eye. And I saw the words, sweetened condensed milk. I am highly allergic to milk, cheese, any sort of dairy I am allergic to. So, yeah, there I figured out what was causing my allergies. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Because I told Lisa, I said, I feel like I've eaten dairy, but I don't eat dairy, but this is what happens. I get really itchy. I could probably go into anaphylactic shock if I kept eating it. It would just keep getting worse because I had horrible allergies when I was eating dairy, and I didn't know that the horrible allergies I was having was the dairy. The doctors were telling me it was everything else but dairy. I was allergic to dogs and cats and grass and trees and dirt and bugs and you name it, and I was allergic to it. And then he never would test me for a dairy allergy. And then my friend at the last townhouse I lived in, she did an elimination diet. Well, she did this test and told me to go on an elimination diet. And that's when I found out I was allergic to dairy. And that's also when I found out that I didn't have any other allergies. Like the doctor said I had. I was just allergic to dairy, and everything else was just presenting as an allergy because I was eating cheese every day and drinking milk every day and, going about my life, killing myself. Yeah, but anyway, I digress. I digress from that. Okay, so I come home and it flares up again. Both of my eyes. I'll attach a picture to the end. It was horrible. Both my eyes are just bloodshot. I'm clawing the roof of my mouth as if itching. I took a Claritin and I'm feeling much better, but I'm feeling kind of drugged too, right? So I just now walked down to the mailbox to see if I had any mail. And y'all, I'm walking down the driveway to check my mail and I see this car parked. And so I'm looking at the car and I'm like trying to figure out who it is and why they're parked there and what they're doing, because it wasn't in front of my driveway, but it was in front of their driveway, sort of. And then I see this young man who's 20 years old standing on the hood of his vehicle with the power line in his hand, propping it on the speed limit sign, the metal speed limit sign. And y'all have to understand, it was dark, and he didn't have any flashlight or anything. So I'm just barely seeing this image by the time I get down there. He had propped it and jumped down. Y'all, I nearly passed out. I said, well, what are you doing? He said, well, I was raising that to get it, up out of the way so I could park my car. He said I was kind of afraid to touch it. And I was like, yeah, it's kind of a live wire. So, yeah, I would be afraid to touch it too. But you've already touched it and you're not dead. So that's a good thing. But don't touch it again. So he didn't know who to call. He had called his uncle. His uncle didn't know who to call, which I kind of find that hard to believe. Anyway, I said, I'll take care of it. So I came in and called Cobb EMC and reported it for him. I said, I guess we don't have a power outage because it looks like everybody on that side of the street has power, but it's still a down line and it was across his driveway and he picked it up. It wasn't down so much that he could drive over it. It was like a foot off the ground. Picked it up and propped it on a metal sign, y'all. And I turned around and there is a full moon. And I was like, yes. Of course it's a full moon because I've had a massacre of earthworms in my office. I've had an allergic reaction to dairy in a brownie. A brownie tried to kill me. I thought I would never say those words. And now I see this young man standing on a car with a live wire in his hand, putting it on a metal sign. So I am done with this day. I'm done with this day. But I hope y'all had a good day. I hope it wasn't nearly as crazy as mine. So, yeah, that's all I got. I hope y'all have a good evening. And I will talk to you on the next Tracy Tries. And hopefully the kid across the street will not touch the wire again. Hopefully Cobb EMC will come fix it. Yeah, okay, good night. Well, Cobb EMC showed up. And I went down there to take my trash, acting like I was just taking my trash. But, of course, I wanted to talk to him. And can y'all see it out my window? Probably can't. You can see the flashing lights. All right, so anyway, I walked down there. And I said, hey, I just want to see, was it a power line? He was so cute and so sweet. He said, no, ma'am. It's just some kind of fiber line, like a cable line or something like that. But you did the right thing by calling it in. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, what freaked me out was the little boy was standing on his car lifting it, and he was like, yes, ma'am, he don't need to be doing that because you never know what kind of power line it is, or telephone line, or fiber line, or nothing like that. It's probably most likely it's a phone line, or it's a cable line, but we gonna fix it. Since it's straight across these driveways, we'll just take care of it. I said, well, I sure appreciate you. And then, y'all, you know what? I turned around, and there was okay, now, I mean, I don't know what time it is. It's dark. It's like after 8 o'clock. And there was a lawnmower being driven up the road by a man in the dark. I said to the nice copy MC man, well, Lord, look at there. Now there goes a man on a lawnmower going up the road. I said, I am through with this day. And he said, well, look at there. He's on a lawnmower. I said, this has been the weirdest day of my life, and I'm done with it. And he said, yes, ma'am. That was the funniest thing ever. And then I may have seen, oh, I'm in the dark. I may or may not have seen a UFO. It was a really, really, really weird looking unidentified flying object flying over my house, and it had 3 bright lights on either side. It has 6 bright lights across it, but there was a blank in the middle, like where the hole would be or something. I don't know. I'm done with this day. I'm gonna lock myself in the house, and I'm not gonna open the door, and I'm going to bed early. So I'm trying to see what time it is. I have no idea what time it is, but I think it's after 8 o'clock. Hold on just a second, because I don't know why, but I feel like it's important to tell you the time. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Yeah, it's 8:30. It pulled up what time the show would go off. It said 9:30, and I was like, there's no way it's 9:30. I know I ain't been sitting here that long. But anyway, a man on a lawnmower going up the road in the dark. A power line down, a full moon, an allergic reaction with dairy for someone who doesn't eat dairy, and earthworms taking over my office. So maybe Jesus will come back tonight. I don't know, but I'm done with this day. So if Jesus don't come back, I'll see y'all on the next Tracy Tries. And if he comes back, I'll see some of y'all in heaven. I don't know about I love you, though, because I don't know you like that. Okay, goodbye.